Very often, we hear masters recommending the best chess openings. But have you ever wondered what the dumbest chess opening is? Well, let me introduce to you the Barnes opening, an opening so bad that it's pretty much never been played in professional chess. Named after Thomas Wilson Barnes, an English master born in 1825, a lot of grandmasters have claimed that this is the worst opening to exist. However, Barnes was one of the best chess players of his time, so he was able to dominate a lot of his games even though he played very dubious openings. I mean, he even beat the legendary Paul Morphy by playing 1f6, which is known to be the Barnes defense. So if you really want to play 1f3 and can't get tired of that move, you can even play with black with 1f6. Now let's talk about why this opening is so bad. 1f3 is terrible because not just you're getting out a pawn and not really getting any development, but you're also stopping your knight on g1 from developing to f3. This knight is now literally stuck here on g1, and the one good square that you had for it to go to is being blocked by a pawn. But not only that, your king is now very weak as you're opening up this diagonal, and if this king would go to castle short side, for instance, this diagonal over here could become a very big weakness as well. Talking about this diagonal, if you're not careful, you might even fall for the fool's checkmate, which is one of the worst ways of losing at chess because it's the only way to lose in 2 moves. This happened to me once. I got checkmated like this in an over-the-board tournament, and I cried and cried and cried, and I felt like the biggest fool in the world. But I learned the lesson, which was to never play f3. Nowadays, this opening is mostly just played as a meme, as it's one of the opening moves that you can go for if you want to play the very famous Bone Cloud. Even Magnus Carlsen played this opening against Wesley So in an online blitz tournament and later Bone Clouded. Wesley So said that losing against such a terrible opening made him feel very humiliated. I suppose if Magnus Carlsen can win with this opening, I can do it too. Copium. I'm gonna try to play this opening myself. I'm gonna play against a 2100 rated chess player in a rated game, and I'm gonna bring out the best Barnes that I have within me. Alright, I've studied a little bit of theory, and I'm gonna show you all that I can do with this opening. So let's get right into it and see if I can win with the Barnes opening. Okay guys, the game is starting. Let's do this. 1f3. Let's see if I'm surprising my opponent. Now, my opponent is going c5, which, makes sense. It's sort of like a Sicilian. The one thing that I learned about this opening is that you want to develop your knight to h3 very quickly so that you can place it on f2 and then, keep the knight protecting the center and making sure that the bishop can never take over here. So let's go ahead and see. I suppose that our opening is so kind of crazy that I think we want to make pretty solid moves now. So I'm gonna go d3 and just hold all of this together, and I think now I'll capture here just so that black cannot push, and I'll bring my knight out to c3. Now my plan over here is simply going to be to maybe place a knight over here at some point. Maybe not now, but at some point. I'm gonna go bishop d2 so that after captures I can capture back with the bishop. And I think now my opponent is going to try to queenside castle, and I need to figure out a way of getting this bishop out. Like, my bishop is super trapped. I think I'll just go bishop e2 for now, and then I'll castle, because I don't really want to go g3. It feels really scary. And after castles, at some point, I'm going to try to capture, and then I'm going to go for this move. Okay, so my opponent actually castled kingside. I was really expecting them to castle the other way. I don't really want to go knight e4 because then there might be f5, which is not really something I want to allow, as I think black is going to have a pretty good position if they can go f5. So what I want to do is that I want to try to get my pieces out. So the way that I will do this is, I believe, by first capturing this knight, because this knight is taking some key squares. And after this, I'm gonna go f4. I mean, the queen cannot really go up over here right now, so I think that going f4 right now is pretty okay. And yeah, I'm just trying to open up this F file. This knight on F2 is actually not that bad. It's stopping black from going E4. Like, if my knight wasn't here, maybe black would want to go to E4. So right now, this knight is actually being pretty useful. And if I'm able to place a knight on E4, I might have a pretty good position. So you know what, guys? I'm not complaining. So far, so good. We got this. We got this. The only issue that I have here, okay, my opponent went for f6, which to me looks like a really strange move. I feel like now like the light squares are gonna become very weak. So what I'm gonna do is that before anything, I think I'm gonna take here. Let's see, am I right? Am I gonna do it? I'm looking at going bishop g4 and trying to take these light squares, take control over them, but it might be a little bit too soon. So I think actually I'm gonna go ahead and capture this pawn, and now my opponent captured like this, and I'll go bishop g4. Knight on f2, you got this. You got this. Stay strong. So this bishop over here is actually being pretty useful. And I think after this, my knight is going to go up to e4. Now this pawn is an isolated pawn. And I think that, I mean, with the queen on e2 at some point and some more pieces attacking, like this pawn could become a real issue for black. I think my opponent wants to go ahead and try to place this queen over here, which makes sense. But before anything, I'm going to go queen e2 might be a mistake actually because of knight over there. I just realized. All right, it's okay. It's okay. If knight over there, I'll just have to accept my mistakes and go back. But my opponent didn't go for that move, which I'm really happy about. Now I really need to stop this. This is now like becoming a really serious threat. So I think I need to go bishop c3. If h5 or anything like that, then I'll just have to go bishop h3, and it's not terrible. It's okay. Like, I'm definitely having issues over here. So now before anything else happens, I'm going to go knight e4 just because I want to create a blockade for this bishop. I don't want this bishop to be looking down over here. And black was also planning on going e4 and activating this bishop, which I don't want. So I'm not going to allow that. Now I could capture this pawn if I wanted to. And actually, I don't want to because there's going to be bishop b6 and my king is going to be super unsafe over here. So I don't like that at all. So I think that I'm going to go king h1 to threaten to capture this pawn. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be greedy. I also like placing my king out of this because just to maybe, I mean, like take away like the sort of like all the pins that are over here. So b6, this pawn is now defended, and I'm looking at what happens if I go bishop h5. This is one of the moves that I'm analyzing, and I think that I'm going to go for it just to see where the queen goes. The queen doesn't have that many good squares as all of these squares are taken, so maybe the queen has to go back over here, but then I might be able to go knight g5 and then just kick away the queen again. So queen goes to h6, I'm going to go bishop d2, and I'm going to kick away this queen again. Like I said, guys, this queen does not have a lot of places to go to, and I've created blockades in front of my king, but now my opponent is blocking my bishop, but I can get it. I can take this. So I think actually I'm just going to capture the rook. After pawn takes, I guess the idea is to maybe at some point being able to go f3 and open up for this bishop, but I'm not going to allow that. I'm going to go bishop f3, and I'm not going to allow for this bishop to become active. After this move, we can see that my opponent probably just wants to take here. So I'm going to go queen d1 so that after knight takes bishop, I can capture back with the queen. Soon I'll be able to go c3 and kick away this knight, and I'm actually like not mad about this position. So I'm capturing back, and it's just going to be really important for me to just stop f3 from ever happening. Let's go ahead and try to activate our pieces, guys. I think that is a pretty good idea. So I kind of like the rook over here, so I'm going to go rook e1. I like the rook over here because we're just really making sure that this pawn kind of like cannot push, which is like what I'm mostly scared of here. So after this move, let's go ahead and see. I kind of want to go c3, but then this pawn is going to become a weakness. But do I care about that? Do I care about it becoming a weakness? Not really. If the bishop now moves somewhere random, yeah, like this, I was thinking that maybe I'll be able to have knight over here check, but I don't really have that move yet. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go rook over here to defend this pawn before anything else. I'm very low on time. I might be able to go g3, but I'm not really happy about opening up over here. So I don't think I'm going to do it. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to bring the other rook over here. After this, we're going to go b3 simply so that this is nice and defended. I want to keep the pawn structure as together as possible. Now I'm going to place this rook on e1, and I might actually soon go knight g5. I really want to exchange queens in this position because of the fact that I am an exchange up. So I'm going to go for knight g5 over here. I'm threatening the queen. I'm threatening this bishop. And if queen takes, I'll just capture it back with the knight, and I'll be a full exchange up. So I don't think that I'll ever be able to lose a position like that. So that would be really good. And if the queen moves somewhere random, I'll be able to capture the bishop. And bishop pairs are typically known to being really strong, as bishops work really well together as they can control diagonals. So I'm not mad about this at all. Actually, here I think that I'm gonna go ahead and simply capture this pawn. I mean, yes, my opponent can right now like capture over here, but I don't really think I'm mad about it. I'm gonna go queen c6 actually, which looks a little crazy, but I'm threatening this bishop and I'm activating my queen. If bishop d6, then I will be able to go b6 and I'll start pushing over here. So now I'll be able to go b6 anyways. I'm simply threatening this bishop and we're going to see where the bishop goes. So I'm going to go b7, threatening right now to perhaps go queen b7. And this rook is right now super active on the e file. So, I mean, right now I can even go over here. If takes, I'll be able to capture. I'm threatening right now to capture this rook. So let's go ahead and see. I think here I have this check, which looks pretty good. So I think now that that black needs to capture, I will go for queen check over here. And I think now I'll simply go for queen f3. I'm holding everything together and I'm making sure that this pawn cannot push. So we're just going to activate this rook. And I'm actually going to place this rook over here. The idea is simply to go for queen check and just pretty much threatening a checkmate over here. So we're going to go queen check. Only move is to go for this. And now this is a checkmate. Guys, I officially won with the Barnes opening. What does this mean? I don't know, but it's crazy. I can't believe it. We beat a 2170 with the Barnes opening. I guess that what we can say about that is that openings don't matter. I was able to win a game, so I'm really happy with it. But the conclusion from this video that you guys can take is that you shouldn't play this opening. It really is terrible. It's not how you should proceed. If you're a beginner, you shouldn't play it. If you're an experienced player, you shouldn't play it. The only time you should play it is when you want to with your friends hanging out and you want to get a quick laugh or two. Otherwise, don't play it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video though, and let me know if you want me to do another video like this of any other funny opening. See you guys in the next one. And no guys, don't play g4 either.